January 26, 2002, King's 80th birthday bash. This is around 12:30, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, before any people have yet arrived. Here we are at the front door. Here's the King's wife eating cold pasty, joyfully awaiting the arrival of her guests with bated breath and excited anticipation. It's a cloudy day, but if the weather holds up, no worse than now, everyone should be able to take this nature trail. Almost everything is labeled. Nice and quiet. Parking lot out back. Here's the mad pot sticker cook, madly at work. Pot stickers galore.
You better believe it.
Drinks galore.
Are you ready?
I'm ready. I'm ready. Knock off.
It's about to begin.
Yes, I did. Too late. I'm already lost a pot stickers.
You already what?
That's probably your turn. I think you're up.
I want to sit.
Whoops, excuse me here.
You'll have to make somebody move.
Dad, here you go.
Hey. Okay. She's got you one.
It's a chair right here.
She's thought of everything.
Okay. Happy
Birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Helene. Happy birthday to you.
Okay, time order.
One candle for each decade. One candle for each decade.
Man, there's 10
Yeah, blow that thing the Pacific gave me.
Oh.
You got a lot of wind. There you go.
We're gonna save the picture, aren't we?
Okay, whoever was gonna go watch the video can go ahead and cut the cake.
Okay, video room is now collected. We'll have video in 3 minutes.
Got a picture.
That's made or that's paper.
Want to make sure? Is there anything you want to say?
I can't think of it. Talk to David, he's good at this sort of.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Okay, Dave.
You send a kid like me to college. You donate $10 to send a kid like me to college.
We'll move on to BJ.
Well, I don't know whether you want to get over here. Sorry.
And Patrick. Are you willing to say he's your brother?
Did you give him?
What a guy. Okay, Carl, any last words?
Hi, Mom.
Hey Carl,
That's it?
could you set us straight on the video?
Okay.
Stuff's digital now, these little video cameras, they don't have to develop, they pitch it, you can go right there and watch them on TV. Isn't that amazing?
Yes. Don't try to explain further, I know they exist.
It isn't much unless you're trying to put a screw in the
So who cut it?
driver in the slot.
We missed the cut, first cut?
Yep, I cut it.
Did you take a picture of
You
it?
haven't missed the cut.
Did you take a picture of
In
it?
your bridge.
Well, I was cutting it? No.
I think that.
To see y'all at
I am. Well, you do, of course. That's only because there's a camera in front of me.
that y'all went to. What's that?
No, we all have cameras at us. It's just
Oh
like,
there's another one.
God, it's a
beach
Gestapo
out from
convention or
Fort
something.
Myers.
It's a newspaperman.
What?
Estero.
Estero.
People taking pictures of
Y'all
each
were
other.
in Costa Rica, and King came down, Kit came down with several other boys.
I didn't come to Costa
And
Rica.
the next time I saw him, his hair was
Get it with
white.
somebody else. He's getting closer.
Yeah,
Just put in another name.
that's fine.
What are y'all doing, taking each
Taking
other?
pictures of each other, yeah.
Now mine's video.
Oh, is it? Well, this one will do video, but it's.
What
Yeah.
happens if the rays cross each other in the cameras and they,
Cancel each other out. You think that'll?
That's so you can remember what each other's cameras look like.
Yeah, right.
Oh, you see, we'll have yours on the website tonight.
go take a picture at the same time the flashes
We won't be
cancel
there
each other
tonight, you'll
out.
see it on the
Yeah,
website.
that's nice. That's the new camera.
It'll have to be tomorrow
You gotta
night.
get that. Yeah, that's kind of a feature.
Nana Dave, don't forget.
Really, that's the way on the back camera.
N-A-N-A, D-A-V-E.
Got one of those?
No, but the next one I get will have one.
Good heavens,
If it's not up within
Yeah, it's
a
really
couple
easy to
days,
see.
it'll be up shortly.
yeah. What
'Cause-
you did?
Because then,
Well done, well done.
Go.
Well. That's nice.
Well, that's why I always try to test it earlier.
1002, 1003, 1004.
I don't hear David. He's not doing his part.
Not doing anything.
You're gonna be screwing up the music.
I don't hear you, David.
Two.
Louder, David. I hear a fuzz.
I got distracted.
When you're playing, I can't hear him. It's too fuzzy.
Would you like a plate?
I'll wait till you're through with your.
I'm
piano
through.
playing. Huh?
I'm through.
Hey, don't put your
We haven't
hand
yet
on
heard
that
you
screen.
playing.
Go
I've
get away
only
from it.
heard
Why are you doing
playing.
that?
I haven't heard you and David playing.
We've been playing.
Start and then.
Go ahead,
they-
David.
I just don't think they're gonna hear this at all. Man.
Try the organ.
Organ. Organ sounds.
I don't know if that's gonna strings and the electric piano.
That's better. Let's try that with that. Nana, don't play so damn loud.
Okay, you start first.
Okay, you ready?
Too loud. Louder.
We got it exactly an eighth, and I don't know where we had.
An artist at work.
Okay. Oh, we did. Where's the leftover? Yeah.
So how was King's birthday?
Her opinion too.
I am not.
Any comments?
Oh,
You got your ears
so
on.
it's a birthday.
But you shouldn't
An
be
important
just
one,
drinking
isn't
and
it?
not eating.
It's another,
Nibbling on that.
Just another birthday.
just another birthday.
Oh. And frosting.
The next life, I'm gonna have do it some profession I can do sitting down, like a doctor. Proctologist, perhaps.
King, how was this birthday compared to all the others?
It was later.
It was later.
It was splendid.
Now, is there any other comments you want to make?
Nope.
Didn't we have a good crowd?
Oh, we had a lovely crowd. Amazing, amazing,
Record crab, record.
incredible.
Record.
Incredible. Yeah, record. The biggest crowd I ever had. Last party I only had 8 people in 1930.
So how many do you think came to today?
Oh, about 50 or 60.
Wow. I'd be impressed.
You are, you should be. Be more impressed when you're 80.
So any other comments you want to, words of wisdom?
Nope. I don't even have any words of foolishness.
That's right.
Anybody want to add any comments for King's birthday? Carl, you've got to have something.
Happy birthday, Dad.
Happy birthday, Grandpa.
That's the trouble.
In another 80 years, Dad. I'll do the same.
Yeah, it'll be your next life.
Patrick,
80th.
I'm sure you have comments to make about your father's birthday, his 80th.
Nope.
You just said exactly the same thing as your father.
Yep.
Your father's birthday?
Ah, ah. can't talk like that. I'm tired. Well, this is King Royer. This is my birthday. And I'm attempting to get some people accustomed with Picolata who are not, and some who are, I hope, will help me help the others. This is one of the oldest towns in Florida. It was not a town, it is a crossing point and a traffic center, almost from the time St. Augustine was established. And I'll take you now around the path. If you follow this, when you're outside, you will see the various signs on the kind of trees I have. A path is something that you hopefully won't stumble over anything on. This is when I started living here. The lot was pretty much like the one to the south of us. When I got it, it was, before that, before it was ever cleared, looks like the one to the north of us. There's an oak of a different species of the other. I thought it was a jack oak when I came here, but after looking at the size, I don't know what it is. I got it from Northfield with Williams. We got it from out in the woods. It's a weed, but it's a root grow.
In case they miss the...
Magnolias on the site. The largest one is yet to be seen. Now this one I believe was not planted, but my memory is sort of bad. Might have been a volunteer. I don't know if there were any magnolias here at first or not. Right through here is a wild orange.
I'm going to say, David, if you want me to hold these up, then.
It was originally planted, this plant was originally planted as a sweet orange in 1982. It was frozen back to the bottom and came out from below the bud. And therefore, this is the basic root system that it has. These oranges are not edible, but they are nice to look at. They have thorns. There's three here with thorns, so don't. If you want to take any of them, help yourself, but if they have thorns, don't expect to eat them.
Well, no.
Go ahead.
Wait, no.
We have here Confederate jasmine. It's growing all along the fence. There were 3 original plants in it. Nursery stock. This sort of thing is a Pella lily.
Okay, hold.
Here. But like in many places, the other plants grow so fast, they shaded it completely. Now it's just barely staying alive. It hasn't done very well with us because we haven't burned it back every winter as it's supposed to have. Because we don't like to burn something unless we know where it stops. But it's been around with us for 20 years and we tear away some of the excess growth once in a while. This is a foundation, a brick foundation, about 18 feet in diameter, for which I've never found a use. It probably was for a freshwater cistern because it's too big for a well. And from what I have seen of it, it's not very old, maybe as recently as 100 years.
How long?
100 years. This is one of our ligustrums. They are here, and the beauty of them is they're green, they grow fast, and nothing will kill them, including cutting them off every couple of years, which is usually what I do.
Hold on. Go ahead.
This is a Florida cedar. They usually grow in very dry areas, and but if they're given water and fertilizer, and we gave them 300 tons on this lot of horse manure, why almost anything will grow fast. This is nice. We have a couple of kumquat trees. They're bearing well when they get the sun, but the sun again has been getting pretty scarce for them. They've had to grow out into the driveway. Power company came along and cleared ground under their lines a couple of years ago. That's opened up this area somewhat. This is English ivy, or Boston ivy. We have a lot of that on the ground. We have it growing up the trees. It's sort of hard for it to go very far because it's this is Speedy Jenny or striated Jewish wanding Jew, and that, if you don't watch it, will grow out over everything. Nice. This is impatience. It's an annual. It's not very aggressive, but since it seeds out every year, and it will seed out before this Speedy Jenny gets very well started, because the Speedy Jenny freezes, it still manages to survive. And it'll spread itself over a few plants all over the lot. A wild plum, that's nursery stock. At one time it had a few plums, but since then it just resigned making leaves, taking some of the counties. This is a red cap, a Turk's cap, makes a small red flower. It grows like the devil. In fact, someone has called it the devil's plant, or the plant from hell. And it's very nice if you don't have anything else, but if you have other things, you do have to do something with it. This has been killed half a dozen times by recourse. It's still there. That is.
Go ahead.
This one's a descendant from a fern we got in a flower arrangement. It is not many ferns you see growing in the woods. It's a very tender fern. It's subject to frost, but that doesn't kill it.
What's the name of this fern?
Don't know.
Oh.
People don't these flowers don't poinsettias. What are these?
Poinsettia.
Poinsettias. I had several potted poinsettias, and I don't throw away everything, so I plant them. They grew very well, except when they freeze, and they die. I have these plants have been here for 10 or 15 years. Giant Cavendish banana. It and its forebears have been here for several years until they were practically crowded out in the shade. And so in this area they just barely surviving. This is a persimmon. They don't do here, and you see what is happening is every time they make a little growth here, 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 even down there and down here, the wasps cut it off, put their eggs in it, and when the twig falls on the ground, the worms go into the ground. Those worms, one cut might have several hundred worms, and they're not more than a couple thousand, so an inch long. So this tree is probably 15 years old, but I doubt it will ever make a tree. The only protection it can have is lots of other persimmons, because they're particularly fond. Bugs are particularly fond of this tree. This is a male kiwi. We've had pretty bad luck with kiwis. We had a female that lived about 14 years, but then we planted a male, and the male is about 7 years old and not yet flowering. In the meantime, the female is dead, so I don't think we're going to have any kiwis. This is not frozen. These sometimes survive the winter in some species. This has not been subjected to any frost. They just shed their leaves. Frost here has barely missed 32 degrees. I don't know anything that's been frozen this week. Its spikes are practically armor. Very popular for the south. It's a very nice thing to have hedge if you want to stop burglars. And it has a lovely purple flower. It's rather tender. This one was frozen back last year to the ground, and you see what it's done this year. The beauty of these magnolias is they'll grow up from the ground, they'll put out from their new trees from their bottom, they'll also put out suckers for trees. But for all that, they don't spread very fast. It's taken a long time for this one to put out any at all. species of bamboo. There's several species. This is a small stalk bamboo, but it grows fast and it spreads fast. This bamboo, like this is not the original plant. And in our yard, we have cut them out as soon as they get 2 feet high. But this one, and the ones in front and along the road, the ones in back, they're all from the same plant. Night blooming cirrus. I have no idea of other names, or they did get it from local nurseries, but no one seems to know just what it is. There is a night blooming cirrus further south, rather popular, and it's in all the books, which is a cactus. So it must have some different name than night blooming cirrus. You can look in the back. If you can catch those, you can see how high it has been in the back before it froze. This plant froze last winter and is out again, as you see. Impatience. It has found its environment because it loves to get away from the sun. It will actually wilt, even an open sky by 10 o'clock in the morning. But here it has water, and it has manure, and it has shade. And that was a plant that was frozen last winter. I believe it's all one plant. Leyland cypress. You'll see a lot of those on 208 by Williams Nursery. They're popular in the southeast, particularly in the Carolinas. I don't know any much else about them. I got them because he has them and they grow. The maple, I think. This. I remember the name of the damn thing. This is Japanese fig, has other names. It also is a slow grower, but it does make a lot of a tree. And it has a lot of shade with leaves at all levels. I suppose they're from Japan, I don't know. We're now about 50. We're now about 30 feet from the mother plant, and I would say that this bamboo is maybe 10 days old. Twigs that's cut off by a girdling wasp. It has eggs inside, and they'll be coming out next spring. Jasmine, or jessamine. It grows well, but it is rapidly dying out because it clings to thorns, and when people clean out the briars, the jasmine's gone also. It has to have a good support. And this is our other unwanted plant. It still persists for 20 years. That's briar, horse briar, as it's called. Here you see some more bamboo that has been cut off once and it's growing up the second time, or maybe the third. These plants are probably more than a week old. The water here used to accumulate in the upper part and was underwater for weeks until we put this ditch in.
Wow. All that twisty stuff? The twisting and
Yeah.
It's a wild grape what?
That's a major wild grape.
wild grape?
They will grow all over a tree. They will actually kill a tree. Most other plants will not. Moss will not.
Goes way up into it, huh?
Well, wild grapes are practically all males. People who raise that kind of a grape, which is relative to the scuppernong, don't need male plants. They have all female plants. There are always enough wild plants around us to fertilize them. They are more here than around elsewhere. It is possible they were introduced here sometime in the past. The last tenant didn't leave until we left 1881 or thereabouts. So they've been here for some time. They make a straight trunk, and they aren't considered so good because they have a comparatively short life, maybe 50 or 60 years. Trash pile. We put all our cuttings here for 20 years, and it's probably no more than a foot high after you get rid of the growth. Most of that growth is red caps. The bananas back there just got thrown back there with some other trash, and they seem to be doing pretty well. One of them has been touched slightly by frost. Now this oak, some of these trees were planted since I came, rather than grow naturally. That one is probably about 15 years old. Bananas, you have the Speedy Jenny, you have in the back out the high part, there's night blooming cirrus, there are little twists up at the top, and the very highest part, those are the cash tree, which we'll come to later. Cash. What's the name of that? What's the name of that charity? Care. This is a mango. The mangoes are very sensitive to any cold. You can see here, this has been quite a tree at one time. It's been up to about 12 feet, and it has produced mangoes about the size of walnuts. That's as far as it's gone. No one in their right mind plants mangoes in this climate. That banana is dwarf Cavendish. They have a pretty good location, so they grow pretty well. And all of those plants came from one underground bud. They have no other way to grow. They're all females, and they are the basic banana you eat. You have those bananas that grow easily up to 22 feet. But I have to. They are the basic commercial banana, not the dwarf.
Huh.
They're mixed up. Trees, and anybody may have all the tangerines you want. We don't need them. This one refuses to grow up, so we have to prop it up. This appears rather common of these plants. And this is the Satsuma orange. Those are, wait a minute, that's still a
tangerine.
That's still a tangerine. Are all ripe. Well, these have a long ways to go yet. These are a very late orange. We have 2 trees of those.
What's this?
Oh, yeah, let's take this Australian pine at the bottom of the top. Let me get further back there. This Australian pine is one of 100 that were planted, the only one that survived. Oh, wait a minute.
This is the Australian
That's
pine.
the Australian pine. It is very susceptible to the girdling worms, girdling wasps rather. And when it was young, they would even cut the main runner off when it was 3/4 of an inch in diameter. You can see the crook in the tree where it was cut by worms when it was quite young. It still loses a lot of limbs, but it makes them fast enough. This is an example of the girdling wasp's work. This whole ground is covered with branches like this just from this tree.
So what do? They chop it off?
They're the one that chops off and puts their eggs in it. I cut several of them off, about 6 inches, put them in a jar. I got something in the bottom that looked like brown sawdust, very fine. I put that under my multiplication, and it came out worms. Incidentally, even a parasitic insect, about 3 or 4 thousandths of an inch will do them.
Huh. This is just what back here?
Well, that's a pine tree with probably trumpet vine on it. In the wintertime, I can't tell the difference. Those trumpet vines are very aggressive and go to very high elevations. The Virginia creeper is similar, but doesn't go so fast. These two dead ones. That oak has been completely dead
Whoops.
at least 10 years. And it's been left in there because it's still good for birds. It gives shade, and when it's summertime, you don't even know that the tree is dead. The whole thing is covered with grapevines and other vines.
What's that red kind of leaf up there?
Red leaf. I don't know what that is.
It's off a vine of some sort. Yeah.
It could have been off a grapevine. Some of those are red. Some orange. They're all pink, and
Yeah, those are all 4 tangerine.
we have that same trouble with them there.
What's that? What's that?
Have the same trouble with them.
Oh yeah.
Leaf bending over to hit the ground. Sometimes from that branch they go up. They make quite a mess. Hole was formed in the ground at this spot at one time, and water kept running into it. There was too much water to be a nest of an animal. But so we always suspected that John Lee Williams was buried under there, and his coffin finally collapsed. Is the bottom of a trumpet vine, or cow itch, depending on your source, and it is so high that you can't even see it. It's so well scattered up in high levels. Needless to say, I didn't find it. I want to take some of this stuff. Now this stuff along here is where a wood-boring bee or wasp made a nest by entering underneath the board, and then boring this way to plant her larva. And a woodpecker came along and cut out the holes to get at the larva. And up in here, there was an actual chamber made by the burrowing worm. And a pileated woodpecker came along and chopped a hole to get to him. This only happened in this spot. This wood is cedar. This is a tropical. This is a tropical tree that has grown up this high during the last summer season. It was frozen to the ground last winter. I'll show you some more samples inside. This is an avocado. It's about 5 years old. It has suffered a little damage from frost now and then, but it's never really frozen. It's not yet bearing fruit.
It isn't born any fruit yet?
I don't know if it ever will or not, because I don't know if they come in sexes. We have some another sex, I'm sure. These oak trees are the same. You catch one going way up there.
What's that?
Yeah. These are, I call care trees because a seed was sent out by the Care Charity, and all of these trees came from that one seed. They were not transplanted, they were not helped. They even got on the other side of the house all by themselves. Now, these are what the leaves look like. The leaves look like a poinciana. They're nothing like that. They have a bean in which the seeds are found. The size of them is such, and they grow so fast, evidently they can be used for firewood when they're still green. You can see where these have been cut off. They just got too big. This is about 12 to 15 years old, I believe. And this is a gardenia. We had a couple of these, and being growing faster than other things around them, they managed to live. This is not a fern. This is a coontie plant. A what? Coontie. It came from for South Florida. It was once very popular with the Indians for the roots, food, and they used to go down to Miami every summer to find some dry land to eat. And these plants are almost extinct. They seem to be only surviving in nurseries and yards. This is the cabbage palm. Like all members of the palm family, they're very slow growing. That one is 5 years old, and I haven't seen the trunk yet. It grew by itself. It's volunteer, like most of our plants around here. This is called the beautyberry. It is a wild plant. This plant has been here for 20 years. It's gotten to be spread pretty well, although I keep it trimming just because we've got to have something else around here. Seeds are good for birds. This is what the seeds of the trumpet vine look like. Most of them are dropped by now, so they're hard to find.
Wow, that's interesting.
I probably came from a plant that's now dead over by the 2B room. This particular species doesn't grow like the others, so I just let it grow. I haven't seen one very big yet, so I don't know how it goes. Citrus trees are banked in the wintertime to preserve the bud in case the plant freezes. And I've never had any citrus tree here die. They're going down to 16 degrees for if they were banked. These trees are seedlings. I don't know exactly where they came from. The one on the left I do know that I got in a class of budding, and I couldn't bud it, and I planted it for an orange, but it didn't turn out to be that way. We have another one here of the same species, and it doesn't do anything at all. Now this is Chinese paper plant. They were rather slick here. Most of them were lost last winter, and I have no particular idea of where they came from. It's a mango again, a small mango. That has been up to 6 or 8 feet, and it froze down to the ground last winter. This is one of our 3 mulberry trees. This tree is about 15 years old, certainly no more than that. And it's been cut off several times, and you can't very well hold it down. Take another. The one over there we've had also, as you see, the other things. The part on the left is neighbors up. That branch on the left runs to the neighbors. He can take care of that.
That little one.
That's another little island cypress. Behind it there are orange trees. There's one navel orange back there that has a tremendous orange on it. The others are regular commercial oranges. Over on the left we have a grapefruit. That grapefruit was about 5 years old. It was close to the ground. It's doing pretty well. Yep. You can also have all the grapefruit you want. This is a pump house. We have now this is a rat's nest. I kid you not. It was made by a rat.
Rat's nest?
He brought this stuff from the ground, and he built another one up yonder. He brought in leaves from outdoors. He picked up these pipe fittings and carried them and stuck them in there. I've never found any nest for reproduction. Apparently he makes these just to impress the female. They don't impress me very much. And we also have a bunch of them down here. We had one back there that was 3 feet long and 6 inches high. But eventually, after the 3rd time I cleaned it out, he decided to try somewhere else. There are 3 irrigation pumps here, and one serves the domestic water. And also there's another pump and another system for the air conditioning, condensing, cooling system. They can all be interchanged. if any pipe, I have two wells, my well and my neighbor's. So something has to give water almost all the time. A well water pressure here is about 6 to 8 pounds per square inch. And the well under free flow will yield about 180 gallons per minute. Key line, it produces rather well. It also is very cold sensitive, but it is frozen, it's frozen the limes once. I don't think it's ever frozen the leaves. This one underneath here is left one from grapefruit. Limes and grapefruit that we don't use, and show that you want, so you can have all those you want also.
Are you hoping they'll clean them out?
This is how's this? This is one of our two holly trees. They're up there pretty well now, about 35 feet. Sort of still getting started, but they're doing well. Black holly. That's a 15-year-old tree. You can count the rings on say how old it is. You see that? That thing was growing. The size of those rings, that tree was growing in diameter about a ½ inch or better a year, maybe 3/4. And this base is maybe 15 years old. The trees get weak in the center. This one branch became so weak that it was broken off by the wind.
What kind is it?
Mulberry. And this one looks like it might also. These are not very interesting trees, that were not very conventional trees because they don't go up.
What are they? What are they?
What's this?
Can you take them?
What's this?
Uh,
Probably with this weather.
You see, here also is the work of that girdling wasp. They cut it off, and they may leave it all winter like that, and then it breaks off eventually. It falls. They don't attack azaleas much. In fact, they're very particular about what they did. They will get oaks. I've even known them to cut roses, but I don't think they care for roses.
Magnolia?
Yeah, 15 years old, more or less. It's gone up there about 40 feet. This arrowhead vine.
Where?
That grows in front of our house. Hey, we have them hanging pots in front of our house.
Oh.
You know the proper name.
See? All over there.
Oh, yeah.
That vine looks tropical, but it has never frozen. And we planted it in one or two locations. It's grown from there. And
That's arrowhead?
yeah. And we
Arrow.
got it with a bunch of flowers originally. Pineapple orange. This tree was planted here because it was the only place there was any place in the lot was any air, any sunshine, and as you can see, it's been going after the sun. I'll take a shot in my hands. It's very easy to peel these oranges, about almost as easy as
Tangerine.
tangerines. Yeah.
And they're what are they called?
I think they're pineapple orange.
Pineapple.
I don't think they're tangelos. That's the only alternative. I know that. And you can have all of these you want to also.
You have a sledgehammer. We can use to pound these in place and see.
Yeah. Got a hack with me.
David went for steak. He kind of went for real.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
And this tree, we get further away from it. This tree is has 120 feet of lightning cable on it. That was about 10 years ago, so it's probably higher than that now. And of course, the lightning cable is not put on the top. So So it's a good sized tree. It's been over 100 years. You're looking at one of them. There are two trees up there, twin trees close together. Behind. None of the trees that I have been tapped for turpentine. Doing that causes the center of rot. In many cases, the trees are 20, 30 years later may kill them.
Huh.
Gives a chance for rot to go inside. I guess that's about all.
Done full circle here. Huh? You've done, was that swamp grass over there?
No. Pampa grass.
Pampa grass, I mean.
Now I get to down. If they go go low around here, they don't get anything. You have to look up high to see our yard. I'll have to get busy and put some alcohol in my muscles.